Well, I just got the alert that we're live, and we are live. It is Wednesday. It's a weird day for us because we've done Tuesdays and we've done Thursdays, and now we're doing Wednesdays. We've even done some shows on some Fridays. And every now and again, we'll just do a show whenever the fuck we want. So tonight, we're talking about Pumpkinhead, the 1988 film, which I didn't realize was directed by Stan Winston until today, because I don't pay attention to that stuff apparently. So if you like Pumpkinhead, any of the movies really, hang out and talk about it with us. Of course, the comments will come up, and we'll try to comment on them or answer any questions. So please do comment. If you're new to the channel or the page, please hit the subscribe button or hit the like button. We do have a Facebook, a YouTube, a Twitter, and all that bullshit. But for everybody else out there who is also a Star Wars fan, happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. I have a Star Wars shirt on. I have my Jedi beard, which I also call my Sherry beard. So, and I will not tell you why I call it that. Only one person knows why, but you could probably figure it out. But anyway, tonight we are talking about Pumpkinhead, a movie I've not seen all that often, and that's a shame. We do have our panel of experts. Seth T. Miller is an expert in lycanthrope. I don't know.
Something like
and
that.
we Nathan Thomas Milliner. Oh, Boba Fett. I should change mine to Ray the 4th be with you, right? No. Anyway, how you guys doing this evening? Seth, how are we doing? How's Indigo?
I'm doing good. He's still trying to get outside.
Did you put a muzzle on him so he's not squeaking? I thought it was like a squeaky chair in there.
Nope, just my bitch dog.
And it's funny, I just found out that Indigo is actually a male, not a female. I was like, take her outside, and I was like, oh, that's not a girl. Nate, how you doing? I see you're wearing your Star Wars shirt proudly. Nate, can you hear me?
What?
I said, how you
froze.
doing?
Maybe I froze. I'm good. Like y'all were like spinning, so I didn't hear nothing.
Spinning like
I'm good. Like yeah frozen and the broadbanding, all the old school noises.
It's gonna be one of those days.
Hopefully.
Oh, we need you.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are like, God damn, will this guy stop talking?
No. I've heard that you bring a lot of good insight to the show, so don't worry about that. Anyway, so how's Star Wars Day, guys? I want to ask everyone out there who's watching 2 questions that have nothing to do with horror. If you're watching this now or later, let us know 2 things: who your favorite Star Wars character is, and what your favorite Star Wars movie is. I'm sure there'll be plenty of Empire Strikes Backs. I'll start by saying Han Solo and Revenge of the Sith, believe it or not. Seth, how about you?
Han Solo and The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay. Nate, bring it home.
So hard. I mean, Luke was my hero, but I think Obi-Wan might be my favorite character. So I'm really excited about today because we got that trailer.
Yeah.
My favorite film, I watched the original Star Wars probably the most as a kid, so that one's really, really close. Although Return of the Jedi was the first one I saw on the big screen in 1983, and
my 3rd birthday,
and it was just one of my early memories, and I just love Jedi Luke and Jabba the Hutt, and the Emperor, and all that. So I do lean towards Jedi sometimes. I love, but the first 3 just unbeatable, really. It's hard to pick. They're all one big story.
Yeah,
so
I agree. So the whole thing, the whole
original trilogy is A+.
Yeah.
And the only thing I've watched this week, I haven't watched anything, but I did watch The Hidden Fortress yesterday, so that's the closest.
A lot of
Phantom Menace and Star Wars, or New Hope there.
I started watching Phantom Menace last night before I went to bed, and I didn't get very far before I fell asleep, unfortunately. I do like the Phantom Menace, but Yeah, I my first Star Wars movie in the theater was actually in '97 when they re-released all three of the original trilogy movies. So
Oh yeah.
I have a good story too. We were on our way, and my car broke down on a country road, and we had to walk all the way to the theater from the country road, which was like 45 minutes, and we missed our show. So, oh, there we go. Is she here to keep you in line after last week, Seth?
What'd she say?
She said Lone Star Spaceballs. Remember last week when we did the Marry Fuck Kill thing and you got all red faced?
I'm gonna pass on this question. You just let's move on.
I'm sorry, dude. We're talking about Pumpkinhead anyway. Marry Fuck Kill, Pumpkinhead. All three. Okay. So you guys did you guys get the chance to watch Pumpkinhead over the weekend or the last couple days?
Yes, I did.
So, Nate, I know you said that this movie kind of had an influence on your current film that's still in production.
Yeah, I mean, the film has a lot of inspiration, but Pumpkinhead was one of many. Just because it's a folk horror, backwoods, small rural town monster movie in some ways. So, Pumpkinhead's to me one of my favorite creature features. The atmosphere of the small rural area, the backwoods folk, the witch, the folklore that goes into it. I just always dug it. Pumpkinhead came out the year that I became a big horror fan in '88, so it was like one of those timing things where it was one of the first new horror movies I watched at the time as a new horror fan, and so I just love the folklore element, or that it's a small town knows about this thing, this dark secret that people don't talk about, and so there's some of that in on a Dark and Bloody Ground of the town that has its secrets. And you see it in It. You see it in a lot of other things where the town knows of things. Even Pet Sematary, we talked about. There's a lot of similarities between this and Pet Sematary, and Judd knowing about the Pet Cemetery and the Micmac burial ground and all that. Like, people know about it, but we don't talk about it because it's dark shit, scary stuff. So we don't talk. So people are aware that there's this witch and this Pumpkinhead thing, but they don't talk about it. The kids scare each other with it. There's a lot of those great elements that are classical, but Pumpkinhead probably introduced a lot of that to me because of my age of the local monster legend that goes on in small towns, whether it's Mothman or whatever it is.
The Seven Gates of Hell here. Well, we don't have really like a monster or anything like that, but yeah. I honestly didn't get to see Pumpkinhead until after I saw the sequel. Again, that's a running theme with me. I saw Blood Wings, I think is what it was called, with Amy Dolenz and what's his name from Hellraiser, the father. I can't think. Seth, what's his name?
Oh, Andrew Robinson.
There we go, Andrew. Yeah. So yeah, I saw that on HBO or Cinemax one night, and because Amy Dolenz was super pretty, and that's why I stuck around. And then I saw Ticks shortly after that. So you remember Ticks? Fun movie. Yeah. So anyway, I watched that and I was like, "Oh, that's part 2. So let's go rent part 1." And I guess there are 4 of them now. Is that right?
Yeah, there are 4. I don't think I've seen the last 2. Yeah, Amy Dolenz. I did Blu-ray for part 2 in Europe somewhere. I remember her from that Tony Danza movie. I mean, her debut. Like Nothing But Trouble, or not Nothing But Trouble, something like that.
No, it was something about she might be crazy or something like that. She's driving me crazy. I'm looking it up. I know I saw that too.
Yeah, she's out of control, something like that.
She's out, yeah. Yeah, she was like a nerd. It's like the first She's All That type movie. Nerdy girl gets kind of. Yeah, that was a fun movie. What year was that? Yeah, you got it. She's out of 1989. So right after the first Pumpkinhead movie. What's up? So anyway, Seth, what about you, man? Big fan of Pumpkinhead or not so much? Do you remember the first time you saw it, or?
Yeah, I really I have like Nate. I haven't seen the last two movies that came out, but
I haven't either. Who cares?
I saw the first two. Again, back when I was in high school, and I was really getting into horror movies, and I especially love the first one. I think it's a great revenge movie, and I think it's got some actually pretty strong character work in there with all the characters, and just the main asshole, and then even with Lance Henriksen's character,
Yeah.
They both realize at some point that they're wrong for what they're doing. They actually have a conscience. A lot of the kids, or a lot of the group that gets taken out, they all want to help, but they're forced in this bad situation. So I think it's got a lot of likable characters. Jeff East isn't paired with a cousin, which is good for him.
Yeah, cousin fuckers in it.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah,
I missed him again.
He's like one of the main characters.
Wait, this guy?
Yeah. Back to his curly blonde hair, but yeah.
That was him?
Yeah.
That was him that pretty much lives to the end, or he does survive, doesn't he?
Was he the one that was going to take the fall for his brother?
No. He's
okay.
No.
I don't know the cast very well. From now on, whenever you say cousin fucker,
what's interesting is there's people in this movie I never recognized until I didn't recognize him until this watching, and then Mayim Bialik is one of the Wallace kids. The whole keep away from Pumpkinhead in the beginning, where the girl says Pumpkinhead got him. That's Blossom, and the girl from Big Bang Theory, and she did that in Pumpkinhead and Beaches in the same year.
What's her name?
Mayim Bialik.
Mayim Bialik. Yeah.
I never knew that was her. I never recognized, and I'm even like friends with the dude. I didn't even recognize that was Dick Warlock in the beginning, that when it's being chased by Pumpkinhead, begging for him to be let in. There's one other. The kid, Lance Henriksen's kid, is Jamie Gertz's little brother in Lost Boys. The Eddie Munster, the vampire kid.
What?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it. You remove the glasses and give him long hair, but it's him. And the dog. This is another silly one, but the dog is the same dog from Gremlins.
Jared texted me. I'm texting him back. Sorry.
There's all these little things I learned, like the cabin where they're staying in is the Jarvis house from Friday the 13th Part 4.
In where's that? Topanga Canyon.
Yeah, that's where they shot this film.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the exterior. God, you're blowing my mind today, Nate. Speaking of blowing my mind, did you get some reviews today?
I did. Yeah.
Uh-oh. So it's time for Nate's Amazon reviews. 5-star reviews, 1-star reviews. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, let me pull them up here. All right. Now, as normal, there are far more 5-star than 1-star. It's like the 2%, 5% area. But we like reading the hateful ones because they're always kind of funny. The other ones, like every once in a while, you'll find a praise one that's funny, but not really, like because they're just positive.
It's so funny to hear how angry people get at movies.
Yeah. How every movie we've ever done is the worst movie of all time, apparently.
Yeah.
Somehow they're all the worst movies of all time. All right, here's one 1-star review. A waste of time, worth a 0. Granted, I'm a horror flick fanatic, but Pumpkinhead is no horror flick. It's a frivolous, boring, mindless, junk-filled, silly, and stupid concoction of guavo, manure, stale dog food, and buzzless warm beer, all brewed into one totally useless 6 cinema sampler suited for oblivion. And that's the best thing I can say about it. Case closed. Carve this pumpkin till death do you part. A total 0. The box, you ask? I've removed it from my collection. Remember, one bad apple.
Well, that's rough.
It's that bad.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
This is gonna spread disease through my whole DVD collection if I leave it on the shelf.
Gotta kill it with fire.
Gotta decapitate it and peel it. Okay, number 1 star. Don't waste your time. My high school math teacher was more scary than Pumpkinhead. 1 star. This movie is really old looking.
That's is that it? Is there more to that?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
1 star. A lame movie. This movie is basically a soap opera trying to pass for a horror flick. Plots are very bland, nothing unique about it, and the monster are borrowed from alien movie costumes. Very dull to watch. 1 star. Bad. This movie was just bad. Don't buy it. The movie did not keep my attention. I fell asleep during the first watching and tried again and failed every time I tried to watch it. I gave it as a gift after I realized it was bad, and they hated it too. I love when people are like, I couldn't make it through it. I kept falling. I couldn't make it. I tried again. I tried. It's like, you didn't. It's not that big of it's a 90-minute movie. I couldn't get through 90 minutes. Worst movie ever. Don't get me wrong. There are plenty of 70s and 80s movies I like. Friday the 13th, Halloween, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Of course.
But this one was just awful. Really awful. Very dated, very lame, and not at all scary or even creepy. Wish I hadn't bothered buying it. I didn't even finish watching it when it went straight to the bin. Here's another simple one. 2 stars. I don't like it.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, 3 stars. If you like Jason, you'll like Pumpkinhead. Decent B horror. If you like Jason, you'll like Pumpkinhead. 3 stars. If you like extra cheese, where's the Pumpkinhead? Yet I like cheese, even though I'm lactose intolerant. Well, it was 1989, long before computers came to our rescue. About the most positive thing about it was it had a plot, even though it was your typical Hollywood version of backwoods people whom they had never take time. And let's see, 3 star. He doesn't really have a pumpkin for a head, you know.
It's true.
Last one. Yeah, 3 stars. Okay, I guess. My biggest gripe with this movie is that it credits Richard Weinman with the story when it actually it originally appeared in an old Warren magazine, Eerie number 11. In fact, it was based on a poem written not too long ago. In fact, the cover depicts the same creature, same color, and the same type of swamp. It seems in the same type of swamp. It seems movie makers today, 1980s to the present, can only steal ideas, not create them. Unless you happen to have grew up in the 1970s loving comic books, you won't be privy to how much today is swiped in both books and movies and entertainment in general. But it was based on a poem. I'm forgetting the author's name. If anyone knows the name, jump in there. But do you know the poem? It's what the kids say to each other when they're circling the little boy, but you miss some of it because they go inside to Lance listening to it. But it's keep away from Pumpkinhead unless you're tired of living. His enemies are mostly dead. He's mean and unforgiving. Laugh at him and you're undone, but in some dreadful fashion, vengeance he considers fun and plans it with a passion. Time will not erase or blot a plot that he is brewing. It's when you think that he's forgot, he'll conjure your undoing. Bolted doors and windows barred, guard dogs prowling in the yard. Won't protect you in your bed, nothing will from Pumpkinhead. which is fucking great. I love that poem. Like, it's just great. And if anybody, I don't know if anybody's a fan of Harley Poe, the band from Indiana. If you've been to Horror Hound, you've certainly seen Harley Poe. They're one of my favorite bands, kind of a punk folk horror group. And they have a song called, that Horror Hound magazine actually put out. Horror Hound produced. It's called Pagan Season or something. The album is. But the first song on there is called Vengeance, the Demon of Wrath or something. It's a song about Pumpkinhead, and they sing that part, and they're talking. They got clips from the movie playing, like, I can't help you, you folks is marked, and all that stuff is in there. It's a great song. It's just kind of an epic song. If anyone hasn't heard it, Harley Poe. Let me get the title for you. Just young top. I'll find that title. But I recommend people check it out if you like Pumpkinhead, because it's a great fucking song. A great band, Harley Poe.
A video on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah, it'll be out there. But I wanted to mention that because I love this. I love that album. I love the band.
I'd never heard of them before.
That song is the opening.
Nate's internet. Is it Nate or is it me?
He seems glitchy.
Is it him that's glitchy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's me.
You got a little glitchy.
Pagan Holiday is the album, and the song is Vengeance the Demon. Close. Vengeance the Demon. And it's awesome. The whole album's even Seth, you may even want to dig it. They do a cover for the Halloween theme on there, like a folk punk version with like banjo. Glitched again, huh?
Yeah,
I'm looking it up. I'm gonna see if they have a YouTube video. I'll share it in the comments. That way, people can check it out if they would like to, because it's actually on Wikipedia. It says music. There's Misfits did a song called Pumpkinhead in '99 apparently, and then this Harley Poe song, which it's 8 minutes long. Holy shit, dude!
Yeah, it's like it's actually two songs in one, but it's one of those songs where it plays and then it turns into another song, but they blend in together.
Outcrowd or something like that. Here, I'll just post the whole
Outcrowd,
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's they're one of my favorite bands. They've had some of their music in my movies. They were going to be in The Confession of Fred Krueger. They did a cover of Tiger Lily's the Hearst song, which is a classic kids song. And is it Hearst song? Is that the one we did? No, not Hearst song. The Hearst song is in my movie. The song that plays at the end of Confession is called Terrible by the Tiger Lilies, and Harley Poe did a cover. And I was going to get that in there, but then I wanted to get permission from the Tiger Lilies, and Tiger Lilies like, we'll give you permission, but use our version. So you hear the original version in the credits.
Well, the link is in the comments. Anybody wants to hear that song, it takes you directly to the Vengeance, the Demon. Is it 3 songs? Close the Door and Outcrowd.
I guess it does go into like 3 different. It's really wild because the beginning of it sounds like this heavy riff, but it's like being played on a banjo. I saw him play it live. It's like I've never heard anybody play a banjo like that. But
I'm gonna listen to it for sure. You can't do it now because of copyright.
It's really fucking cool. But right in the middle of it, they do that. Keep away from Pumpkinhead in case unless you're tired of living. It's really cool.
Awesome. Any more reviews or anything else before we move on to talking about?
That's all I got. Yeah, we can talk about the film itself.
Yeah, because there's a couple things that I definitely want to. We talked about it earlier in the chat, but
yeah, we also should throw out early happy birthday to Lance Henriksen. He'll be 82 tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah, one day away from us having the show on his birthday. That would have been pretty cool. Happy Cinco de Mayo. So yeah, you said it earlier about the man. What you said was. Did you get your message, Lance? He keeps freezing. This is like it's like watching Seth. What's going on at your place tonight, Nate? You guys having a Wi-Fi party?
Must be.
All right. So, do you want to get into the movie then?
Yep.
So, do you want to talk about? So, the scene with Dick Warlock was a flashback to 1957, right?
Yeah, 1957. Guy has been accused of murdering a little girl, I think, or some girl, or I don't know if it's a little girl or not, but someone sicked the Pumpkinhead on him, and he's banging on Ed Harley's childhood home, asking for help. And they say, "I can't help you. We can't let you in. Get away from my door. Get away from my family," because they know what's coming for him. And then he's chased by the Pumpkinhead, and we hear that, really great sound design to use like locusts to be the sound of the Pumpkinhead, because it is a creepy sound. Very effective.
Is that what
kind
that
of
was?
like? It sounds like locusts to me. So it's like before, it's kind of like the Jaws theme, but organic. It's like this kind of, it's just this insect sound that I guess anyone who's dealt with locusts or cicadas or whatever you call them. I guess it's cicada. I think they're the same damn thing, but
Are they?
I believe they are. Like we had them really bad like a year or two ago, where you go into certain parts of town and it was like just you couldn't hear anything but the loud noise of cicadas. We didn't get them here, luckily, in our neighborhood, but I was actually at the it was last year because I went to the composers for Dark and Bloody Ground to show him the rough cut of the movie, and we were watching it, and you could hear them outside. And this was a soundproof booth. He does audio work, records stuff, and thick walls, and you could hear them outside. How loud!
Yeah, cicadas are fucking ridiculously loud and annoying. They only come out every couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I never thought about the sound design of Pumpkinhead himself or itself. I don't know what its pronouns are. So,
well,
but
I know
anyway,
great characters have that. Like some of them don't, but like the Predator with his like that clicking noise that he makes when he like. I guess it's his voice or his breathing or whatever the hell it is, but you hear that every once in a while with the Predator.
Uh-oh. Jared's here. Hey, lover.
Hello, boo.
So we're just getting into the movie.
I had a little work fiasco.
Are you okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So anyway, we just started talking about the prologue, I guess, the early part of the movie. We haven't gotten to the best part where the kids decide to ride dirt bikes and somebody's property just randomly.
Right.
So
Dick move.
Yeah, I thought so. That like watching things again, like over time, I'm like, who the fuck do they think they are that they can just take their bikes out and just start riding on this guy's property? I'm assuming that this is Ed's property because his store's on the land, Like these kids are a bunch of dickheads.
Well, the dick did it, and the brother just felt the peer pressure, I guess, to do it.
Yeah, it must be
the little brother.
Yeah.
Let's go do some wheelies while we're getting some groceries.
Because that's how long we're going. I guess that's how long we're going to be here at this tiny, tiny store buying snacks. I got time to do some riding.
Yeah. So I'll be right back. I have to restart my internet because apparently it's not working right. I'll be right back. Okay.
Right.
Let's go for it. So, Kat, you can give me the cliff notes of what I missed out on. Have we just started briefly already?
We just started, actually. We were talking about the Amazon thing, reviews, and we talked about Star Wars and shit like that. So we're just now getting into the film. I mentioned some things like some of the casting. I wasn't aware of that. Like Dick Warlock was the guy in the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
That Maya Balak was one of the little Wallace girls, backwoods people Blossom and all that. The little boy is Jamie Gertz's little brother in Lost Boys, the little vampire boy. And the dogs from Gremlins, and the house that they stay in is the Jarvis house from Friday 4, shit like that. Yeah.
I was gonna say I did find another one that you may not have mentioned. The friend Chris was the young Clark Kent in Richard Donner's original Superman movie.
Oh yeah, we talked about Cousin Fucker. Remember him on? Were you on the Deadly Blessing episode?
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he was on Deadly Blessing too. Yeah.
Yeah, we did the Deadly Blessing episode, and Seth had pointed out that in Deadly Blessing and what was the other movie?
Summer of Fear.
Summer of Fear. Those two Wes Craven movies that guy was in, like in both movies, he had some intimacy with his cousins. So we started calling him Chicken Fucker. So like Ray throws up his Clark Kent picture every once in a while.
Nice. I totally missed out on that.
He didn't even recognize him. Like, I said, yeah, it was. He goes, what? It was him? It's like, yeah. And Pumpkinhead. And then we got like discount Linda Hamilton. Who's the photographer. I just kept saying Linda Hamilton and that girl. I mean, she was good though, but I got Linda Hamilton vibes, Sarah Connor vibes from her. Not that she behaved, but Terminator 1 before she could do chin-ups, as they say in Hunt for the Wilder People.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see that movie? Hunt for the Wilder People? This little chubby boy, the one that was from Deadpool 2, a New Zealand kid. He's out with like Sam Neill, and they're out in the woods, and this other New Zealand like officer's chasing them, and she doesn't like them, and they're talking about how they'll kick each other's ass. They're like separated. And he goes, "I'll find you. I'll never stop running. I'm like the Terminator." And he said, "No, I'm like the Terminator." And she goes, "No, you're like Sarah Connor, but in the first one, before he could do chin-ups, before she could do chin-ups."
I know the kid you're talking about though from Deadpool 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's funny. So now that we've gotten past that early part of the movie, so I guess we can fast forward to the next part where the kids show up at the Harley grocery store. Yeah.
It's a what to you, Neil, and I don't know what's going on.
Okay, I'm back. Are you guys, can you hear everything okay? We got some comments that came in while I was away. I had to restart my internet. I apologize.
We were slightly bantering about the cousin chicken fucker from Deadly Blessing in Summer of Fear.
This guy?
Yeah. Yes.
That's not going anywhere. It's funny because the picture on my screen is right below this one, and it's right below this one, and this one, of course. These are the ones I'm never getting rid of. So
I want to see a reality show with those people all on it.
All of them.
Well, I went and saw Brian Regan last week, and one of my favorite jokes was he was saying, "Yeah, I like reality shows. I keep watching that show, Dancing with the People. I have to Google to find out who they are."
Okay, so we did have a question. The second movie's good. The other two, I don't think any of us have seen. Jared, have you seen the last two Pumpkinhead movies?
Actually, no. The third or the fourth one is really hard to find on DVD or Blu-ray. Actually,
yeah.
Because I was trying to look for a collection or even something remotely close to a collection, and there's nothing out there for like the third or the fourth one.
Weren't they like sci-fi movies or like made for TV? Yeah.
Oh, made for TVs? Okay.
They're probably as good as Return of the Living Dead 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I mean, there has been talk about a reboot, which I think it's out of all the stuff that hasn't been rebooted or remade, that's a good choice to remake. Like I had even back with Horror Hound, we did an issue where we all had to pick two monsters to go up against each other, and I wrote Pumpkinhead versus the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Oh,
that's because MGM owns both of them, and I thought it would be perfect for the creeper kills somebody's kid or whatever, and hey, he's got my T-shirt on. The creeper kills the creeper kills somebody, and the Pumpkinhead gets sicked on, or conjured up to go kill the creeper for revenge of whoever the creeper killed.
That'd
And
be
that's
interesting.
That would actually be a really cool movie, I think.
Yeah. So let's talk about the fucking asshole dirt bikers. Well, Jared just disappeared. Let's talk about that. Then, because you get into that, you get into what somebody said about the tragic death of the son, which to me was like, I don't know how he died from that, but like it looked like they barely clipped him.
Died of a heart attack.
It was fear that got him. So yeah, so the team was weird. Because God, that cousin fucker has to be in his 30s by now, right? Look at him, looks like he's in his 30s there. So, like,
the funny thing is, I was like, this guy looks familiar. Like I don't know where I can place him. And then
you caught it, but I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't know he was Clark Kent until I did research, because I had the same feeling. I was rewatching Deadly Blessing. I was watching Summer of Fear, and I'm like, why is this guy? This guy was on a TV show in the 70s or something. Like, I know, was he on the Waltons or Little House on the Prairie or what was it? And I looked it up. I was like, oh, he's fucking Clark Kent. That's fine. But his face just looks so familiar to me. But with curly blonde hair, it's just, he doesn't look anything like Clark Kent.
No. Yeah, that wig, that had to be a wig that he was wearing in that picture.
Very bad wig.
Yeah, really bad wig. So anyway,
his acting hadn't gotten any better either.
He looked like Elvis Presley.
Elvis. All right, we need to get into this movie.
Okay,
we're very joking tonight.
Can we joke about the boy's death?
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I don't see how that kid died.
What is they were all innocent because of like a rattlesnake bit on one. No one saw it, and
Is that what happened?
That's what happened. Red ants did it.
And fire ants, man, those are killers.
Yeah. Other than the front tire like hitting him in the chest or something, I don't know how that would have killed him. I guess
it just looked like it clipped him. Like, I was watching it, I rewound it, and I'm like, how did that kill him? Because I think, doesn't the girl say almost immediately, his heart's not beating or something like that, or he's not breathing or something? It's like, how?
They say he's cold. He was cold.
He was cold, yeah.
But he was blinking the entire time. So I was like, okay, they're going to need to figure out what's going on.
CGI them eyelids.
They do such a beautiful job of, in just a little bit of time, establishing this beautiful father-son dynamic between Lance and the boy. It's one of my favorite Lance Henriksen roles because of that, because he's not usually the guy you think of it. Maybe he wouldn't have gotten this part had he not worked with Stan Winston before, in Terminator and Aliens.
Yeah.
I think that's part of why he was even in the running, because the movie was not a big budgeted movie either. But Lance, it was authentic. I thought he did. I thought he was very believable. He even had fake teeth made so he could look more rural and backwoods type in the movie.
I was gonna say, it did look like he had like some kind of like bigger teeth than I normally noticed.
Yeah, they kind of looked almost buck and little crooked.
Yeah, buck teeth. Yeah.
I didn't notice.
But you're right. The exposition that they did in like less than, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes tops.
Yeah, just going really through their daily routine of going there, waking up, going to the shop, watering the shit, feeding the dog or pouring the water for the dog, playing around, all that stuff. You already love them. Like, it does really make it especially tragic when you see the little boy. And like I talked in the group, but like it very reminiscent of the Pet Cemetery, which even though the book was out, the movie came out a year after this, where she sees him run, and little boy, and she's trying to chase him, like Judd going, "Don't let him go on the road, Lewis." Same thing. And then she's running and she trips like Lewis does. And then the whole burying your kid and all that stuff, very, very in a secret ground like the Micmac burial ground or the pumpkin patch. lot of Pet Cemetery vibes I got watching it this time. But I love the relationship, and that to me is the heart of it. When I painted something, I painted Lance Henriksen holding his boy. When he gives him that look, he looks back at the brother like that I'm gonna kill you look. Mm-hmm. And I brought that up to Lance when I met him, and he goes, "I wanted to kill that kid." So yeah, I love. It's one of my favorite Lance movies, for sure.
He's kind of a different kind of character than we at that time, especially that we would usually see him as. Anyway, especially moving forward when he became kind of a horror icon or sci-fi icon or whatever.
Yeah, he had a creepy look, so he often played creepier.
Yeah.
Dark characters. Here was an everyman, and he was the hero of the film in many ways. He was the one we all identify with. Good father, good citizen. And the fall, watching him fall and go, but basically fall into damnation by out of love and out of anger and out of pain. It's this great morality tale that goes on in the movie.
He had nothing left at that point after his son was, and he goes to the witch, and I mentioned something earlier in the chat about that set, the pumpkin patch set, that kind of altar almost that's one of the coolest looking sets. You talked about you said how the whole movie's filled with great set pieces, but that alone is
the use of fog and light and shadow and that pumpkin patch set, even the beginning where the Dick Warlock, there's a great shot where he's putting the horse into the barn, and just the lighting and the shadow and everything was really the wind and the sound design. And this is I always think of this movie as one of my Halloween movies, like October time of year film, and people often don't do that, but it's perfect. It's called Pumpkinhead. It's pumpkin patch. There's leaves, there's wind, there's all this shit, and there's a lot of orange, like Halloween, a lot of orange and blue lighting contrasting each other, and so there's a lot of similarities between Halloween and this movie as far as look.
And it lasts through the whole movie because the final showdown towards the end of the movie, is really great looking. That's one of the things I'll never forget. But we'll get there, right? I felt bad with the girl that got blood across on her forehead. We'll get there too.
And she was the girl in Jaws 2 on the boat. What's her picture?
Was that really her?
No, I'm just saying that's the same character.
See it again?
The one who freaked out.
I'm glad that I found pictures that make you guys laugh.
Her and Cheryl from Evil Dead, and this girl with the
right
on her head.
Yeah. All right. So another thing I brought up to you guys, and I've talked about, is so the older brother, the one that started the dirt biking, and he's the one responsible for killing the kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What? So I guess he's been in jail at some point or been arrested or whatever.
Yeah, like 2 strikes.
Yeah, and his brother's going to take the fall for the murder. What?
I just love it because he's like, the worst they'll give me is a slap on the wrist. No, you for manslaughter.
Right.
We're just gonna you don't do that again.
That
Pay $40. Yeah.
Yeah, there's things that I get that this is just a movie and everything like that, but there's things like that, and how the kid died. I was like, come on,
it's it's made by a special effects artist, and couldn't do more than that. Stan,
yeah.
When you had your own studio to do this, you had Alec and you had Tom and all them working on this thing. They couldn't throw some blood on the kid at least, but I mean,
he had no scratch on him.
At the same time, it kind of makes it. This movie doesn't go for gore.
No,
it's very classic in that way. I mean, this movie could have come out in the fucking 50s or 60s, some way. It could have been that era of creature feature movie where someone gets shot and you don't see any bullet hole or any blood, but hey, we got the idea that they're not alive anymore. They're not now a dead person.
You see them pulled off screen, but you don't see anything happen.
Yeah. And, you know, maybe it's the best. I mean, I don't want to really see that little boy all bloody and fucked up. So, you know, when he carries him home and he's bathing and washing his head off, and, you know, it's just heartbreaking and beautifully shot. Again, and a lot of the use of the smoke to give you atmosphere, pumping the daylight into the windows, into the dark room, gives you that classical look that's just gorgeous. So there's a lot of gorgeous looking scenes. The way the witch where she lives, and like of course the cathedral, the torn down church out in the woods was a cool visual set.
Oh yeah, for sure. This was actually the second time I had seen this movie, and the first time I saw it was like years ago. But I mean, for a lower budgeted film, with obviously one of the best, you know, special effects guys ever at the helm, it still stands up today as a good movie. Like, it doesn't feel like, I mean, I can't say it doesn't feel like it, but the acting makes it feel like a B movie at times, but everything else doesn't, if that makes sense. Like you were saying with the set pieces and all
set design,
the cinematography and stuff. Like, it doesn't feel like a B movie at all. But
not like Silver Bullet, I guess.
I think one of the only criticisms I would have is, oddly enough, the creature moves fairly slowly, and at times it's kind of stilted. Yeah, but there's some. But when it's done right, it's done amazing. Like, I love the shot where the girls are talking in the kitchen in the cabin, and the girl goes over, and the camera follows her, and you just catch the Pumpkinhead walking past the window outside. It's a great shot. And then there's the one where he's like, they're hiding, and the Pumpkinhead's like looking up, and all of a sudden he leans in right there, and the light hits him, and his face is animatronic, like it's actually moving. Like, just to get that shot right probably took a couple of tries, because he's moving around, and then he comes in, and again, his face, his eyes, his mouth, his eye, all that stuff is moving when he gets in his face, and the lighting hits him perfectly. But Tom it's Tom Woodruff, right, Jr., who is like a classic. I mean, he played
in the suit, yeah.
Yeah, was he the creature in Monster Squad?
Let's see, he was the Gillman. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah,
he was the Gillman. And you know, of course, he's done it a lot, but he definitely knows what he's doing. I've watched him behind the scenes. He knows how to make the stuff, and he knows how to make it sell and work. Like, you know, like Doug Jones or someone like that. He's not as skinny as Doug, but he's. I haven't met him. It's like, out of all the Monster Squad people, like, he's one of the ones that just doesn't do a lot of conventions.
I'm looking at his filmography. He's done a lot of stuff.
And Gillis, when I had to sculpt on this new movie, I'd never sculpted or made a monster before, so I had to learn. So I just ordered a bunch of Stan Winston videos, and Gillis was the teacher basically on those. And Tom was on there showing you how to move and be a creature in a movie. That's where I saw it. It's like a masterclass set that you get from Stan Winston's school.
Nice.
And they're your teachers. Expensive, but worth it.
There are 2 Paul Blart movies. What the fuck?
Yeah, they made a sequel.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at this guy's filmography, and he did stunt work on that movie.
Oh, okay.
It's like, well, I didn't know there were 2 of those.
Like, that's a random reference.
Yeah. He's done stuff in Godzilla vs. Kong as well, in the Mortuary Collection. So he's still doing stuff.
Yeah, he still works.
Really
I think that's probably possibly why he doesn't do the shows. He's probably just always busy.
Yeah. All right, we keep getting off track on this one. Let's talk about the witch. Let's talk about the witch, or whatever she is. She's a witch, right?
Yeah.
She offers. He wants to, like, resurrect the kid, right? At least that's what I thought.
I think that's what he thinks at first.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. I don't know if that's what he thinks, or that he's there to get.
Well, he takes the kid back.
Yeah.
you know, like that one scene when he goes to see the Wallace. Is that their name? And he can see his son's like in a blanket. And, you know, he knows what happened. But for some reason, I got the vibe that he wanted to try to bring him back. No, she did. He did, because she said she can't wake the dead.
She goes, that power's not in my out of my ability or something.
Yeah, I don't have that power.
No, but then he wants revenge, right?
She has some really fucking great lines.
Yeah.
Like, I love what you want's there. You got to bring it back here for me. I got to do some things to it first, so it'll be any good to you. Or the part where he's like all messed up and oh, this is wrong. We got to stop it. She goes, what did you think it would be easy? you know, a lot of those things. Like, that old woman's the only thing you're gonna do is go straight to hell dealing with that woman. So there's a lot of cool dialogue in the film about that folk horror stuff, which I always like folk horror. I'm glad that there's more folk horror coming out, especially like Robert Eggers and people like that and Ari Aster, who are tapping into old folk and pagan and shit like that. Witchcraft. We don't have enough witches. Witches are scary as fuck. She's one of the scariest witches I've seen on film, honestly. She's really good.
And the way they silhouette her face, like most of the time when she talks, like you don't ever truly see her face full on too much, if at all, really.
Yeah. And they put that lighting behind her so her hair just becomes flames, basically. It's just totally illuminated.
And you can see the shape of her skull too. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like that kind of creeped me out. Is she in anything else, or is this it?
She's done some other stuff, but that's kind of what people. If you go on her IMDb, there's like a bunch of pictures from this movie for her.
Mm.
Yeah,
I'm just admiring the Shipyusko.
Because I wondered if she was someone under that bunch of makeup that had been who knows, she may be like some big Shakespearean actress or someone Stan knew, or I don't know. I don't have like any of this. I don't have the Scream Factory. I don't know if it has any special stuff on it or not.
It does. I didn't get the chance to watch. I've been really busy, especially over the weekend. So I didn't get to like delve into it like I'd like, but there are some things on there. Plus, I watched that movie, The Entity, and it kind of got to me a little bit. So,
I'll do it.
Yeah, have you guys have all seen The Entity?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Nay.
That's
Nope.
Well, that's a motherfucker. It's based on a true story, apparently.
Yeah.
About a woman who was sexually assaulted all the time by an entity living in her house. And
yeah, that's pretty fucked up. I definitely recommend seeing it unless you have
not to downplay that kind of thing, but Ray Stantz had no problem with that. I'm sorry. So sorry.
Like, go for it. Get her, Ray.
And he left the room.
I had to leave for a second. I'm sorry. I had to walk out of the room and laugh for a second. Sorry.
No, I mean, how many of us as kids like didn't realize that scene was happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on, but Christ, like.
Sorry, we are way off board on this.
I can't even fucking deal with this show anymore today. Oh, Jared.
Sorry. My bad.
All right.
Reel it in, guys. Reel it in.
Nate, get us back on track.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I honestly, like, I love the first 45 minutes of the movie, and then I feel it really kind of starts to drag and go. It just like outstays its welcome at points. Once the Pumpkinhead's out there, maybe there's too many victims or too many locations. They go to a lot of places, and it does feel like the story doesn't, even though it's still only 90 minutes long. I think it's not long, but it feels longer to me.
Yeah, me too.
And I think it's just because there's so many characters and there's so many places they're going, and you're dealing with Ed's story and the kid's story.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the redneck kid, the backwoods hillbilly kid who's fascinated by it. He wants to see the lady and wants to know the secrets. So you've got like kind of three characters or three sets of characters who are on a path throughout the movie. And that's an interesting thing where, again, it's like a morality's tale about revenge and that Ed learns to regret what he's done.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts about the movie, though.
Yeah,
he kind of comes to his senses and tries to fix his mistake.
Yeah, and in all honesty, none of them deserved it. Even the asshole, like no one. That kid was there. He shouldn't have been there. They didn't know he was going to be there. So
right.
They didn't kill anybody with malice or with evil in mind. So, and again, only one of them perpetrated. And he said, "I've been drinking. They'll fry me." He's like, drinking or not, like, what was he going to do? I mean, the kid's there, and he comes over a hill.
Right.
So there's no intent to murder somebody. There's no evil in those kids. And most of them totally didn't deserve it. Now, they did leave them, but again, I think they were just scared. What are we going to do? Like, this is fucked up. Like they're kids, and they're scared, and they're like, oh, like, my whole life is going to be ruined by this. But also just helps the story. I mean, if they'd all been there, it makes it, it's more story. Like, it's better to have that one boy there that is trying to, hey, we're sorry. But it is still kind of fucked up because, like, what are you going to do? We don't have cell phones. There's no phone at the thing. There's nowhere to get him help. What are we going to do? We can't. I don't want to pick him up. I read somebody made a good point. They said this movie is about parent neglect because Lance should have never picked his son up, should have never carried him around, take him home. Was he going to heal him with a rag? And it's like he killed his son. And I'm thinking, well, he probably may not have even been a hospital or a doctor's office for miles. It's pretty much his son's dead.
Yeah.
One other thing I can bring up is Lance didn't really click with the script, but it was that scene where he's driving and his son's laying next to him dead, and he sits up and goes, "What are you doing, Daddy?" Or "What did you do, Dad?" And he starts crying. Like, he goes, that was what made him want to do the movie. It was that scene there. That was what he goes, it scared me. That scene scared me. And that's what made him do the movie.
To piggyback what you were saying, Nate, like the way the kids reacted after the incident happened, the one that actually stayed to try to actually help got fucking killed first. Like, how shitty is that?
He's the first to die.
Yeah, the first to die. The one that actually stayed and offered to help.
Yeah, the one was trying to do everything right. The one who stayed, offered to help, and was willing to go to prison for his brother.
Right. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
He must love his brother. He's going to go to prison for him. Yeah, so what do you guys think about... we got 20 minutes. About the end with Ed and Pumpkinhead and the girl, like everything that happens, like what Ed has to do or what he thinks he has to do to stop Pumpkinhead.
Pull out his blowtorch.
Yeah.
Ultimate fail.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like... I'm still thinking about Ray Stantz and having sex with ghosts.
Let's hear from Seth. He's mean mugging us.
Yeah, he's been mean mugging all day.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Come on, Seth.
As far as the ending,
anything.
Or anything.
I want to hear your voice, buddy.
Okay.
We love you.
Yeah. I don't know. So I really liked the ending. I liked everything that the whole idea where it was kind of taking Lance over a little bit, and he basically had to die. There was a consequence to his action, and even though it was too late, and I don't know, I really liked the character, so it was like almost kind of like a tragic ending in a way. Everyone in this movie kind of reacted they just reacted based on, their emotions at the time that this tragedy happened. The kids made a bad choice and they reacted in that moment, or at least one reacted that moment, which kind of controlled how all the other ones reacted. Lance Henriksen also reacted in the moment, and by the end, both parties, the asshole, like I said in the beginning of the show, the asshole kid and Ed Harley, they come to terms with their mistakes and where it led them, and so I really like that. I was going to mention earlier too, when you guys were talking about how there wasn't really much gore, and then also with the visual effects of the fog and all that, it really seemed like it was like Stan Winston was making like a Universal monster movie in a way.
Ooh.
It was like the 80s version of a Universal monster.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Okay.
Well, Stan was never part of that gore group of effects people of the 80s. Like, he made Terminators, and I mean, even though he had to do gore, he wasn't a splatter guy. He was a different type. Their whole studio was not really about violence and gore and all that. They were definitely the creature group of people.
Where K&B was making all the splatter effects with
He worked on a thing too, right? Didn't he?
Yeah, Stan. Yeah, he did. I don't. Excuse me. I don't know how much he did on that, because it usually goes to Botine, I think, right? Or Botine. He worked on The Entity.
So I'm guessing, like, what makes the Pumpkinhead come, like, because we're talking about Lance becomes, or Ed becomes linked in with it, is that the Pumpkinhead maybe needs a soul to be resurrected, and so it's using Ed's soul. That's why they're linked, maybe. And then, I mean, I just like the mythology. I don't know what all the mythology of it is, but I like some little details, like which says that what's buried there, like the locals would bury like their handicapped children or their mutant kids or something, inbred kids that they were ashamed of or whatever, that they would, I guess, kill them and bury them there or something. She only touches on it a bit, but that's what it sounded like to me. Like, she says,
we got a glitch.
Yeah, he's had trouble all night.
children, they
Are you glitched again, or are you just not moving on purpose? Yeah, he glitched again. Right in the middle of a point. Oh, shit.
Oh, he's coming back a little bit. I was gonna say, can you actually like put the just sit there? We all just.
I don't know.
Seth,
He
is very stoic in his motion right now too.
Who's Seth? Seth's usually the one who glitches out, but he's in good shape tonight. Nate, you there? Okay.
I'm back.
You got glitched
I
out
don't know
for
what's
a
going on.
minute.
There's a storm or anything.
I was gonna say I've had storms all night, so I mean it may be coming your way in like 3 days, 2 days.
Is it that long? It'll hit me first, and then Nate.
It'll hit you first, yes.
What were you saying, Nate? Because you got cut off like that. All of what you said.
They always hit on Friday nights. So you're about right. I don't know what else I'm saying.
I don't know.
Oh,
Glitch so much.
Kids. Am I there?
Yeah, you're there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I was talking about the witch saying the kids were buried in the pumpkin patch for like maybe inbred or mutated or handicapped kids that they were ashamed of. She just said they
outcast
kids they were ashamed of.
Yeah.
But it's like, but did they murder them and bury them there? Did they suffocate them in their sleep? Yeah.
Or just bury them alive?
Yeah. I think she worded it was the kin they were ashamed of.
Yeah.
It's like the Spartans. They would, throw the
yeah. I didn't think about that. You're right.
Yeah.
Because those inbreds want that perfect bloodline and perfect fighters.
That word makes my skin crawl. Inbred. It does.
That's what we do up here. That's why we have the cousin fucker in the movie.
Right?
How come he wasn't one of the backwoods inbred guys?
Yeah, okay. We're casting this backwoods movie.
I would have came full circle at that point.
Like, maybe you've seen my work with Wes Craven, but I'm in the wrong role.
It was like you need somebody that's a backwoods movie.
You thought you were getting Clark Kent, but I am in the horror world as a cousin fucker.
What's his name again? Something East?
Jeff East.
Jeff East.
Seth, the big fan. Jeff East. He comes right in and tells me.
Jeff East.
No, I researched it too before the show because I was very fascinated by it.
I forgot he was in the movie. I was watching it right before we jumped on. I saw his name in the credits, and I'm just laughing in anticipation of Cousin Fucker getting brought up.
What is wrong with us? This is 2022, the year of the cousin.
I just feel bad that I missed out on the first instance of this cousin fucker introduction.
I found a picture of him from Pumpkinhead. I'm gonna put it up.
Oh Lord, is his mouth open?
A
little bit.
There he is.
He looks like Derry from Letterkenny in that picture.
He does.
That's him, huh? Little cousin fucker. All right.
Pitter patter.
Yeah.
So this episode hasn't gone as I expected.
We've talked about everything, right? What else is there to talk about on Pumpkinhead? It's very simple stories.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know, what have we not touched on?
How about Barbara Hershey? She got touched on by a ghost. By the way, seriously, if you have never seen this movie, watch it. Her performance is fucking out of control. She's really good. The Entity. Scream Factory has a copy out there of it. I bought it.
I guess one of the only things that I can think of that we haven't touched on was how Lance Henriksen and the Pumpkinhead were, sewn together. So if either one of them got hurt, they felt each other's pain. And I thought that was kind of a nice touch to things, because anytime, the Pumpkinhead got hurt, or if he felt something, Lance Henriksen would feel it. And then anytime Lance Henriksen got hurt, it would hurt the Pumpkinhead. Yeah, and obviously we got to the result that we did at the end.
Which I think they pulled away from that with the sequels. Well, the first sequel anyway. Blood Wings.
He lost the Corsican Brothers link. There's a movie I haven't seen in a long time. Cheech and Chong's Corsican Brothers.
Yeah. Or the Crimson Twins from G.I. Joe.
Oh.
And Tomax. Yeah, I mean that was one of the cooler parts about the movies was towards the end when he shoots himself and Pumpkinhead goes down, like Gale Weathers.
Bitch went down.
It's super bitch.
Well, it's cool too because it was something that also it kind of added to his guilt because didn't he kind of like see what Pumpkinhead saw too at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like it just really helped to kind of add on to the guilt and just knowing that the only way to stop it is for himself to die. Like I said, there's a great consequence to that.
There's a werewolf theme going on in there.
Yeah.
You spawned your werewolf brother twin. Now I gotta kill myself to kill the werewolf.
Your shadow self.
Yeah, that's my shadow.
Yeah, I think once he realized, this thing is not going to stop until it completely mutilates everybody. Like,
we talk about how amazing that creature is. I really do. A lot of people just like, oh, it's just an alien knockoff, because it is kind of built similarly to the alien.
The head. The head mostly, right?
Yeah.
But
Not the face at all.
But I love
Yeah.
the design, the creature, and I do like the performance. And Tom is like buried in that thing apparently all day long. Like it's pretty. There's a great picture of him wearing like Nikes or if you got that picture.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you've seen that. Yeah,
Right, that's a good picture of that. When he's got the tennis shoes on, the motorcycle.
Yeah. I think that's for the second movie, though, isn't it?
It may be. I haven't seen the second
I
movie
got
in
a
a
picture
long
of that
time.
way.
I remember the only thing I remember from the second movie was joking about it when I first watched it with my buddies. We rented it, and there's a scene where they're driving, and the kids are driving, and they hit the witch. Like the witch runs out in front of their car, and they hit her, and then she like jumps up and runs off. And it's like, well, she was tough. But then later on, they're like in her place, and they're creeping around, and they like cold cock her from behind, and she's out cold. I'm like, wait a minute, she got hit by a car, and like Jackie Chan the fuck up and ran out, and like we just had to hit her over the head later on.
Pumpkinhead's face looks like.
Where do the stilts start on that outfit?
You want me to pull it back up?
I'm just curious where the stilts like end and where the actual feet begin.
His feet are right there at the knee joint. Or no, he's got two knees. If you just eliminate that bottom part, see that little part jutting out on the left foot. His heel is right, and like that's coming from his heel. So his feet are inclined; they're going down. He's standing on the stilts there.
So where his ankle would be where that second bend is. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That's his where that second bend is his ankle. Yeah, his foot sitting on the stilts, and they're pointing down, like toe down. Yeah.
It reminds me of Poltergeist too.
Yeah, that's where he's starting to look like Lance. They make this one's a cool thing. He starts to look more like Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, really cool. There he is. Pumpkinhead in the second one.
Should have had these pictures earlier. I just found them.
I love that. I love that shot.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Like, I've seen Lance Henriksen in dozens of movies. This is probably my favorite portrayal of him, like actually showing all of the different emotions that he can actually produce as an actor. Like, I think it's my favorite of his. I mean, I might be not thinking of something else, but just his range of emotions. Obviously, like being the doting father and just his grief and stuff. Like, he really did an amazing job in this movie.
I think Terminator is my favorite movie with him. With the one cop telling him to shut up all the time. Sorry. Oh man! All right, let's wrap this up. Did you guys have final thoughts for the movie? Let's Jared, you do your final thoughts since you were.
Yeah, I was kind of glazing on it, as I said. Good movie by Lance Henriksen. This is a movie that a lot of horror fans, it flies under their radar. If anybody's still watching, like if you haven't seen it, go see it. Like it has some B quality tendencies, but as far as special effects and monster makeup, it is A+ 100%. As Nate was saying earlier, I didn't even think about it earlier, but it does feel like a good Halloween movie too when you're in the October month. I literally got teary-eyed watching it this morning after the events that happened with his son. Just that, it like Nate, we've already discussed earlier, it does kind of recall stuff that happened in Pet Sematary, but just the way that it was handled, like that's a side of Lance Henriksen you don't ever see in anything he's ever done. Like it literally brought a tear to my eye. And the kills are few and far between. They're not outlandish because it's more left up for the mind to perceive. You know, they do a lot of pull away scenes and stuff like that, but it is a very effective horror movie. And I think everybody should add it to their list if they haven't seen it. I'm done.
Okay, Nate, how about you? Final thoughts.
Yeah, second, Lance is really fantastic in it, and that, like, you see a man determined. Like when he shows up at the Wallace guy, I'm looking for a woman, and he's this is all I got. Like we just don't see him do that in movies because people. I mean, there's probably been some films or even TV shows that he's been on where he wasn't typecast. But at this point, he was most famous for playing an android, an emotionless thing, or a vampire in Near Dark the year before.
Near Dark.
And he had bit parts and other things, Dog Day Afternoon, a few other movies like that. Yeah, I love this film basically for Lance. Like every time he's on screen, I love his face. I love his physicality. I love his. I believe him. In the whole movie, I believe this guy's a real guy. It's like that's what character actors are good at for, and he's a great character actor. And a lot of times, these are the only kind of movies those guys get to star in a movie and be the lead. And I think he delivered on it. And it's got the emotion, it's got the anger, it's got the good times before, where he's happy and he's just a guy enjoying his life with his son, and all that life is just ripped from him in a second. And like Seth was talking, he just knee-jerk reaction. I want him dead. I don't care about apologies. I don't care. I go to my wife. They took my boy. They took our son, and I want him fucking dead. And then, once the consequences, the reality of that sets in, I mean, revenge, good revenge stories do come with, the whole idea of like revenge really isn't going to make you feel better. It's not. So anytime a revenge movie is not celebratory when they do get the revenge, is sometimes the stronger choices. There's been a lot of the best revenge movies have been movies where the revenge doesn't get carried out really, or if it does, there's regret. There's it destroys you. As I said, they warn him. The only thing that woman's going to do is send you straight to hell. So,
yeah,
and he was right. So, but you don't listen to the warnings when you're in the moment of passion and anger and rage and
blind rage. Yeah,
retribution. Yeah. Great revenge horror movie. In a time where slashers was king.
Yeah, it was like the height. By the way, I found that picture.
Yeah, he's got Nikes on.
Yeah. Good pair of Nikes. And then look who it is.
It's
hello.
Yeah, I couldn't save that picture for some reason. But anyway. Seth, how about you? Some final thoughts on Pumpkinhead.
Superman flying.
Yeah, probably one of my favorite performances from Lance Henriksen besides Hard Target.
Oh, nice.
Yes, he was great in that. He's a good villain. It's a good monster movie. It's especially at the time that it came out. It was around the time of all these movies with gore and just basic stuff. Like Friday the 13th and all that. And it's in that time frame this movie comes out and it has some heart to it, even though it is a little cheesy here and there. I think it's just a good movie that does have at least tries to have a good emotional core to it, and not just be just some cheap dumb monster movie that you could see on like the Sci-Fi Channel or something like that. I don't know what I'm saying. But I like it. I think it's really good. It's a good monster movie. The end.
Next time I watch Pumpkinhead, I'm going to kind of go in with the mindset that it's kind of an 80s Universal movie. Like you said, I really like that description. because you do get that, especially with the set design, the fog, the atmosphere itself.
Yeah,
You do get some of that.
It's gothic horror. One thing I did what Seth made me think of was I love that Stan said, I'm not going to do the effects. I'm turning it over to my team. It's all in your hands. You guys do your thing. Like the confidence and the generosity he has. He didn't do. He said, I'm the director. I'm going to do the directing thing. And that's really what it is. When you're a director, you really can't just focus on all that other shit. You need to have people that you trust and put in those positions. And, I've had a lot of people say, well, you could do effects, Nate, or you could do it. I'm like, no, as a director, I should be able to just focus on directing. That's why you hire the people that you trust who are going to do it. And so I love that Stan was like, I'm going to turn it over to my boys and they're going to do it. And I'm going to just be the director on this thing. And, I think his directorial debut, I think he did fairly good.
Yeah, that was his debut?
Yeah, he never directed anything before.
Of course, I found out today that he directed it, so because I don't pay attention to credits. Okay, well, thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks for you guys, of course, Nate, Seth, and Jared. I know it's Star Wars Day, and I know that's on all of our minds.
Again, live long and prosper.
Jared, you didn't get to say what's your favorite Star Wars movie and Star Wars character. We did that at the top of the show.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so I need to know.
My favorite movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, probably Empire.
Okay.
Yes. And my favorite character?
Chewbacca.
No. Oh my God. I can't even answer. Like, I like a lot of the characters. I actually like the rogue character the best from the side movie.
Cassian?
The other guy. The guy that played the Mandalorian. Was it the same guy, right?
No.
No.
Jared's a huge Star Wars fan, by the way. Everyone.
No, the Hispanic guy from the... Maybe it's not the same guy.
Pedro Pascal? Yeah.
Spock.
Huh? Spock.
He's gonna get it, Captain.
I've had enough of seeing the Star Trek stuff today.
Was there a Hispanic character in Star Wars? I think there was.
Cassian.
Yeah, in the Rogue One movie.
No, I'm thinking Star. I meant Star Trek. They had everybody, but they didn't have a Hispanic person, did they?
Scotty was. No, I'm joking.
Scotty was.
Yeah, Scotty was Irish.
The guy from Rogue One was not the dude that played Mandalorian.
Cassian from Rogue One, yeah, he's Hispanic.
Cassian is was it Luca? What's his name?
I don't have my phone.
I can't remember his name. It's not Pedro.
Bullshit.
It's not Pedro Pascal, but yeah, it's
kind of looks like.
Kind of look alike.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, they do look a lot alike.
Maybe that's why I'm getting confused. But yes, there are too many good characters in the Star Wars galaxy to mention just one of them. I guess I don't know. Empire will probably always be my favorite. Most people like Return. A lot of people like.
Most people like Empire.
Yeah.
Nathan, I'm just glad that super interesting artist with a southern accent is out there. They all think we're all Gomer Pyle. It should have been on here when Luke was on here. He's got a really thick accent.
Right?
Yeah, I know. I get it in words, but I'm from the city.
I was not expecting that accent from him.
No, neither was I. But well, I'd seen a couple of his live videos, so I knew that. But like,
I didn't know he would have that much of a draw.
Yeah. That episode is on our YouTube page. It's Bone Tomahawk. Check that out if you haven't. We'll be back next week with another episode whilst I'm on vacation. So it'll be fun. We'll figure it out. I have no idea what we're going to talk about yet. We totally bypassed the Omen. Who cares? We'll move on to something else. I'm going to let somebody else pick. I always feel like I'm picking. Anyway, have a great evening. Oh, no, we'll wait till next week. Have a great evening. Watch some horror movies this weekend. I'm sure I will. Watch some Star Wars tonight. Everybody have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. Next Wednesday, don't forget. Bye.